As everyone knows, we have been very critical of Senate Republicans for the entirety of Trump's second term because let's be honest here, these morons have completely wasted the mandate that they were given back in 2024. Seriously, you guys won in 2024, not because people love the GOP. No, it's because people voted for Trump and they only voted Republican down ballot because they actually wanted Trump's agenda to pass the House and the Senate. Yet, these idiots have done next to nothing. Seriously, outside of the big, beautiful bill, which, by the way, Trump had to use so much political capital just to barely pass it because these people can't even get that through. What have they passed? Can anyone name anything of note outside of the big, beautiful bill, which, yes, contains a lot of good stuff, but that was Trump's doing. Trump is the reason that actually got through. And of course, Mike Johnson. Senate Republicans did everything they could to stop it from passing, and they nearly succeeded. But at the end of the day, it did pass. So outside of that, can anyone name a single thing these people have done in the last year and a half? I can't think of anything. I seriously cannot think of a single thing these people have done. Yet somehow, their inaction may not even be the most pathetic thing about this majority. Just look at this article from Axios that dropped a couple days ago. This might be the most pathetic thing I've seen in a long time. Senate Majority Leader John Thune and most of the GOP conference was reeling Tuesday from President Trump's snap endorsement of Ken Paxton in the Texas GOP Senate runoff. Thune called it Trump's decision, but it's Thune's problem to pass Trump's agenda. With a trio of senators, the president can no longer hurt. Yeah, that's right. Senate Republicans are throwing this temper tantrum because President Trump finally intervened in Texas and is backing Ken Paxton. Good. It's about damn time he decided to back Paxton because it's clear this Senate majority, even though they were given a mandate back in 2024, and I know we're not talking about a huge majority, I get that, but still, when you have 53 seats in the Senate, at the bare minimum, we are expecting you to just pass Trump's agenda. Just the basic things. Yet, they couldn't even do that. What did they think was going to happen when they refused to pass the Save America Act? Seriously, Trump was begging for these morons to pass anything. Something that just pass the Save America Act, a 90-10 issue that even Democrats support, yet you can't pass it because John Thune is a bad leader? That's essentially the excuse here. John Thune is the majority leader. Why the hell is he not forcing these people to vote yes on this? Why? He is just useless. At this point, John Thune is, I get to a certain point, he has to deal with people like Murkowski and Collins and McConnell. I get that. But at some point, I just get sick and tired of these excuses. And Trump, I think, is also, he's just done with this. He's saying, I'm done. What's the point? What's the point of backing John Cornyn when you can't even pass a 90-10 issue? And now, with Trump going against Cornyn, we now have 3 senators that Trump has either already primaried out or, in John Cornyn's case, will primary out. The first 2, Tom Tillis and Bill Cassidy. I know Tom Tillis technically retired, but guys, Trump was going to force him out anyways. He was going to primary him out in 2026. He was done. Bill Cassidy, same thing. He got destroyed just a couple days ago. And now, John Cornyn, more than likely, he's done. He is done next Tuesday. I guess he could still technically win. That's entirely possible. I get that. But right now, I do really believe he's done. And with that, that means there's 3 people in the Senate that Trump forced out, either indirectly or directly. That is a problem because now they don't care. They're going to vote no on everything Trump wants to do. And when you factor in Murkowski and Collins, again, Collins has an excuse. She's in Maine. It's an election year. That's one thing. But Murkowski, no excuse. McConnell, no excuse. You begin to realize there's a problem here. They have nothing to lose now. They're just gonna vote no or against Trump on every single thing. It doesn't matter what it is. It does not matter if it's a 90-10 issue. They don't care. They're spiteful assholes. They don't care. Already, Tom Tillis for a year now, he's essentially been a no vote on anything and everything. He votes against RFK's nomination or try to stop it. Same thing with Cassidy. They're trying to block these nominations. They're voting no on everything. They're throwing a temper tantrum about every single thing that Trump does. And there's a chance that John Cornyn does the same thing. And at that point, you're not going to pass anything. But I really believe at this point, Trump has accepted that it doesn't matter what he does in the next couple of months. These people will refuse to pass everything. They will refuse to pass even the most basic things like the funding for ICE. That might be in trouble now, which is just crazy. But these people, they don't care. They simply do not care. And it's actually kind of confirmed in this same article that Trump is done. He is done with these people right here. He's done with the Senate bullshit and Thune and all of them. They can't deliver. The only reason the president was holding out for Cornyn was the SAVE Act. And when that became a lost cause, it was, why the fuck should I support this guy? And he's right. Trump is 100% right in his anger. He was begging these people, just pass the Save America Act. If you do, I will support Cornyn. And that is the real reason he supported Paxton. Paxton himself gave Senate Republicans a golden opportunity to not have a competitive primary and keep John Cornyn in place. All they had to do was pass the Save America Act, and Ken Paxton said, if that passes, I will drop out and I'll support John Cornyn. Yet, they can't even do that. That's why I think, and it's actually confirmed here, Trump just had enough of this shit. What's the point? If they can't even pass the Save America Act or anything, Border Patrol funding, nothing. They can't pass a damn thing. Because already, Tom Tillis is a no. Bill Cassidy's a no. Murkowski's a no. McConnell, he's a no on everything. That means it doesn't matter what it is, you got 4 Republicans voting no on everything. And that doesn't even include people like John Curtis, people like Ernst in Iowa. There are a lot of awful Republicans that will vote no on a lot of random stuff. And that's the issue. So Trump now, he doesn't care. You're not going to pass anything anyways. So why would Trump support these people? Why? Why would he support John Cornyn? He was probably going to support him, but then Ken Paxton said, I will drop out if Senate Republicans pass the Save America Act. And Trump said, I agree with them. And they failed miserably. They didn't even try. They did the bare minimum. Mike Lee did everything he could, and they failed. Gee, I wonder why Trump is sick of these people. And the crazy thing is, it's not Trump's fault. In fact, Trump was a team player here. He was giving these people hundreds of opportunities to pass the basic things, to work with him and try to actually unite the party in Texas, because that is allegedly what they want. They want to prevent a very competitive runoff in Texas. They want to unite the party, and Trump gave them a million different chances, yet they still failed. And despite the fact that it was Trump trying to work with Senate Republicans, the way Republicans are reacting to this, you just can't make this up. Look at this right here. This is a text from a Senate Republican. Our majority is melting down before our eyes. Many Republicans believe Trump has brought this upon himself, creating more free agents out of a selfish desire to purge Republicans not seen as loyal enough. Yeah, Trump is now the selfish one because Senate Republicans refuse to do anything. What? Bill Cassidy voted for Trump's impeachment. He tried to block RFK's nomination. Tom Tillis, he's been a joke for years. John Cornyn, he bullshitted everybody about the Save America Act. They're the ones lying about everything. Trump was the one trying to work with them. But it's Trump's fault. It's his selfish desire to get rid of people that screw him over at every turn. Seriously? This right here is a problem with the majority. Even though they were given a clear mandate just 2 years ago, they're still not, they still refuse to accept that Trump is the leader of the GOP. He's the president. You don't have to agree with him on 100% of stuff. I get that. Fine. But you're not even doing the bare minimum. You have people like Tom Tillis and Bill Cassidy running around, voting to impeach Trump, voting to block all of his nominations. Everything he does, they're trying to stop it because they're spiteful. Like, I'm just stunned that these people actually convince themselves that they're the good guys. It's that orange man that's the problem, even though it's the opposite. Trump has been the one trying to work with you, and you refused to work with him. And now you're upset that he's going to try to take you down? Congratulations, you played yourself. Like, really? How can anyone seriously blame Trump for this when he is the one trying to work with Senate Republicans and they just refuse to do anything? Now, not even controversial stuff, just pass the Save America Act or a version of it. Just do something. Just try. That's all we're asking for. Just try. Just try to pass some stuff. And yeah, a lot of people might be upset, but at the same time, people would understand, okay, you tried. It just, with the way things work right now, we can't pass it as of now. But right now, Trump does not have any reason to support any of these people. And that's a big deal because looking at the 2026 elections, we've gone over this a million times, but I don't think people truly understand how awful the Senate delegation still is. This is the current delegation for this year for seats up in Republican states. And there are currently only 4 senators that I would consider good in this class. Only 4. There are 7 that are whatever, 7 that are bad, and 4 that are terrible. So half of them are whatever or good. The other half are just bad, or in some cases, the worst of the worst. People like McConnell, Tillis, Cassidy. This right here is why nothing gets done. You only have 4 senators that are good in this class. Well, you have 11 that are bad or terrible. But after the primaries, and I should be clear about this, this is not a prediction or whatever. After the primaries, especially after Texas, after Kentucky, Louisiana, you go from a pretty bad delegation to this. Now, it's not perfect, obviously. It's some of the upgrades, like in Louisiana, Iowa, and Kentucky. They're not the greatest upgrades. But compared to Bill Cassidy and Mitch McConnell, yeah, I'm going to say that Andy Barr and Julia Letlow, they're upgrades. And at the bare minimum, they're just going to be generic yes men for Trump. If they need a vote on something, they're going to vote yes on it. They're not going to play these games. They're going to just say, whatever, we'll vote yes. We love Trump, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it's not just we're getting slight upgrades. In some areas, we're getting huge upgrades, like in Oklahoma. McMullen, now the DHS secretary, will be replaced by Kevin Hern, a phenomenal congressman. Texas, John Cornyn is probably gone. And if Ken Paxton wins a primary and then the general, there you go. You go from a garbage senator to a top tier one in Ken Paxton. Even Wyoming, you're getting an upgrade. That's the thing with this class. We're getting rid of so many shit Republicans and getting real upgrades. Not everywhere, of course, but you go from this, just an awful class. Yes, you have a couple good people like Marshall, Cotton, and a few others. You go from this to this in just a year. I should say 2 years. That is a big deal. This right here is why Trump does not care, because he realizes oh, wait a minute. I can get real upgrades in some of these areas. I don't have to play around anymore. I don't care. We already are. So you know what? Let's just go all in. Let's just go all in on John Cornyn. Let's try to do good in other primaries. And that's why it's a big deal. You're getting rid of just these garbage senators like Ernst, like McConnell, Cassidy, Tillis, Cornyn. There still are some problems, and some of the upgrades, like in Iowa, not the best. But how can anyone say we're getting no upgrades, no real progress? This class gets a huge upgrade basically everywhere. Now, again, not an official prediction. You could lose like North Carolina, which you probably will. Maybe we win Michigan or whatever. Either way, you get the point that just in the primaries for states that we already have, it's looking pretty good. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.